In this series of lessons, we're going to be looking at the computer vision task known as semantic segmentation. I'm going to be assuming that you already have some general understanding of neural networks, and in particular convolutional neural networks. I'm going to be assuming that you are familiar with the image classification task and what the structure of a neural network looks like for this kind of task. And it would be helpful, but not necessary, to know a bit about how to use TensorFlow, since we'll be getting hands-on in the final lesson and build our own semantic segmentation model using TensorFlow. However, you might still be able to make sense of the programming project even if you have never used TensorFlow before, since everything will be well documented. Also, you'll still get a good understanding of semantic segmentation even without doing the programming project at all. So what is semantic segmentation? A good way of understanding what it is to compare it with other computer vision tasks. For the image classification task, we're interested in finding out what the input image is of. In this case, the image is of a cat. For the localization task, we're interested in finding out where the object of interest is located. So we want to get the coordinates that will allow us to draw a bounding box on a single object. In this case, we want to draw a bounding box around the cat. In the object detection task, we want to identify multiple objects in the scene and where they are located. So we want to identify, for instance, that there is a cat and its position, but we also want to identify that there is a dog and its position as well. So finally, semantic segmentation is about determining which pixels in the image belong to different objects. So we might want to identify which pixels belong to a cat, which pixels belong to a dog, and identifying which pixels belong to neither a cat or a dog. Let's just call that the background. So semantic segmentation is quite useful for things like self-driving cars, where you want to identify which regions, for instance, are occupied by a road, which regions are occupied by a car, vegetation, poles, or pedestrians. Another application is for biomedical purposes, such as identifying different types of cells. So this can be useful for identifying things like cancer cells, for instance. It could also be used for augmented reality purposes, where you may want to overlay things within certain regions. Okay, that's it for now. In the next lesson, we will look at what the general structure of a semantic segmentation model looks like.